Alfred Fitzpatrick was born in Pictou County, Nova Scotia in 1862 and was the son of Nova Scotia farmers who were United Empire Loyalists and Presbyterians who strongly believed in the value of education. He attended Pictou Academy, which is famous for producing scholars who have become leaders in many fields, and later became a Presbyterian minister after graduating from Queen's University. Fitzpatrick was strongly influenced by American educational philosopher John Dewey and embraced his thoughts about the importance of lifelong learning and the connection between education and democracy. Fitzpatrick believed that education carried with it an obligation to serve and lead humanity. He spent time traveling as a minister in lumber camps and observed the appalling conditions under which the workers lived and labored. He noted that there were basically two groups of men. One group of native-born Canadians who had very little education, and another group of immigrant men, many unable to speak English. He saw education as a way of improving individual and social conditions of these men. The education that he promoted included basic literacy and math skills for all workers, as well as citizenship training for the immigrant men. Citizenship education included such things as English, Canadian geography, history, government structure, and the details of naturalization. Recreational and cultural events were encouraged in the effort to teach Canadian cultural norms. He believed that new immigrants to Canada should receive language training and that in addition they should be helped to understand the culture and traditions of their new home so that they would better fit in. In order to help this Canadianization process, Fitzpatrick wrote the Handbook for New Canadians. His vision was ahead of his time and was long before other educational and government institutions realized the importance of outreach programs. Fitzpatrick introduced the idea of the laborer teacher. That is, the instructor would work alongside the laborers during the day and teach them in the evening when the work was all done. At the turn of the century, Fitzpatrick encouraged university students to travel out to the frontier and work alongside of men working in the lumber, mining, and railroad camps. Fitzpatrick was a strong advocate of the education ought to travel to the people, no matter where they might be. Fitzpatrick himself said, "We must educate the whole family wherever the work is, wherever they earn their living." In 1899, Fitzpatrick introduced citizenship education at the Reading Camp Association, both through curriculum and by example. There, the laborer teachers were expected to be role models, moral guides, counselors, and friends. They are available to advise in dispute settlements and to hear grievances. Besides being selected for a high level of energy and physical fitness, laborer teachers needed to be charismatic and personable, altruistic and upstanding citizens from good homes and English speaking. Fitzpatrick also believed in the benefits of placing people of privilege in situations where they could truly come to understand the conditions and challenges of the working class. In doing this, teachers became learners as well, and the hope was that they would go on to be leaders in political and social spheres. This has certainly been the case in such examples as Wendell MacLeod, David Peterson, Roy McMurdy, and Sven Robinson, all who spent time working as teacher laborers at the Reading Camp Association, which was later renamed Frontier College. Fitzpatrick had always idealized the frontier man. He recognized the unhealthy living conditions of the labor camp, but believed that actual tasks of the laborers contributed to a wonderful education of the body. This, Fitzpatrick believes, is just as important as the education of the mind. He thought that sending university students to the frontier would prove beneficial to both the laborer and the students, for each lack what the other has. Fitzpatrick wrote that the laborer is debauched by doing too much of the drudgery, while the student is spoiled by being satiated and made effeminate with a one-sided education that he has not earned. Fitzpatrick writes, "There should be more studies involving physical exercise. It is too bad that the students are forced to resort to dancing and hazing for sufficient exercise to keep them in health. Why waste such physical exuberance when the muskegs of the north need draining and millions of acres must be cleared?" Fitzpatrick also believed that the education could help in what he describes as the necessary work of assimilating foreigners. In order to ensure that teachers are helping the immigrant become a healthy Canadian, Fitzpatrick suggested that only those who are British subjects by birth should be granted permanent teacher's licenses. A teacher who is foreign-born states Fitzpatrick, has likely not entirely eliminated their foreign traits. Fitzpatrick finds that it's natural and proper that Canada force the English culture and beliefs on people entering Canada. Today, Frontier College continues to be based on Fitzpatrick's original idea of taking education where the student is. Fitzpatrick's main messages, such as the balance between mental and physical labor, the idea that the educator must go where the learners are, and that education should be relevant to the learner, are still as insightful today as they were almost a century ago.